There are nearly 40,000 people waiting for public housing in Victoria, and more people than ever are turning to cheap rooming houses for accommodation. As James Bennett reports, the crisis is particularly stark in northwest Victoria.
4 or 5 years ago, I met a young South Korean lad at church one Sunday, and he was being ripped off, to put it mildly, by his contractor, and I befriended him, and then 2 friends came with him, and they ultimately came and lived here, and I got them a job, and so it's gone from there.
At any given time, Tony GABY will have up to a dozen people living in 3 rooms and 2 caravans in his home at Robinvale on the Murray River.
It's a zucchini farm, and all the people work together and each help to each other. I like the place.
Taiwanese VALEN and Korean YONGJAE are 2 of the many backpackers who do a farm stint to earn an extension of their working holiday visa.
There are houses around here that have 1 toilet, for example, and 15, 20 people, 1 bathroom, 15, 20 people. But because these people are here to work, apparently that's good enough.
Robinvale, 1 hour west of Mildura, is a true melting pot. Post-war Greek and Italian migrants opened up much of the land. The father of Swan Hill Mayor, John Catus, was one of them.
In the old days, and I'm talking about during the dry fruit periods, the pickers and the workers would come here, work for 6 months and then leave. Now they're here for 12 months a year.
The town has flourished on Australians' appetites for table grapes. Nearby, the Lamatina family's carrot farms and processing facility employ around 80 people. More recently, olives, pistachios and huge almond groves have gone in. With each new crop, so too has come a new group of migrants to tend it. Only there's nowhere for them to stay.
There hasn't been enough public housing built in this town, so people are using all sorts of accommodation, and that ranges from tents to caravans to multi-families in small private rentals.
Privately, larger farmers will acknowledge that it is, by and large, up to them to provide the quality of accommodation needed to lure the workers they require. But there is a more general concern that a lack of public housing and the overcrowding and poor conditions that some families are forced to cope with not only harms Robinvale's economic interests, but also has the potential to end in tragedy.
A couple of years ago there was a fire at about 8:30 at night in the middle of winter. The house was populated by members of the Asian community, all of whom who were cooking in their rooms. Apparently it overloaded the power circuits, fire broke out. If that fire had happened at 2 o'clock in the morning rather than 8:30 at night, there would have been absolute carnage, I'm sure.
Around town, most are quick to point the finger at unscrupulous labour hire contractors. There are stories of workers being mistreated, overworked, underpaid or not paid at all. But even the Mayor admits many turn a blind eye.
Is this problem compounded by the fact that, to a degree, there is an illegal component to the workforce?
Look, we try to close our eyes sometimes, you know, because we do need those people.
John Catus estimates he could fill another 200 houses, but with the Auditor-General last month finding Victoria's public housing system will be bankrupt in 2 years, chances of that are slim.
Without some things changing, public housing may not continue into the future. So we need to look at how we can put public housing on a more sustainable footing.
Housing Minister Wendy Lovell says statewide demand for public housing is falling, down 1.8% from last quarter. But new federal government-funded research has found the number of Victorians sharing in private rooming houses has been vastly underestimated. The researchers at RMIT believe 12,500 Victorians are living on the bottom rung of the private system, compared with 3,700 6 years ago.
Anyone who's had an interest in housing over the last 15 years has been telling governments at the state and federal level over and over and over again that the system's not sustainable, it's not doing its job, we've got too many people on housing waiting lists.
Wendy Lovell says 10% of Robinvale is already public housing, more than double the state average. Tony GABY believes everyone must play a role in addressing the housing shortage.
It's partly a government thing, I think. It's partly an employees thing. It's partly private enterprise that's got to perhaps invest a bit more in the community.